Hello, my name is Jenkin. I'm a autism home program facilitator in Hong Kong. I'm working in Hong Kong autism home program and vocational rehabilitation. Today I'm just simply going to talk how are we going to give choices to our children. Um, Most of the parents, especially those in Hong Kong, uh, have actually set up everything for their child for their day. So their child basically have no choices at all in what they are going to do, nor they have any choices in what they want to do. So everything has planned for them. What are the problem? You might say it's good because their parents is actually doing something for their children. Well, imagine yourself, someone planned a day for you, doing things that probably mostly you don't like, and some things, a little bit of things, but one or two things that you actually like, you actually enjoyed. This is quite frustrating. This is quite frustrating. So it's the same feeling for child with autism. As they grow up, it's quite frustrating that you have planned everything for them. They have no choices at all, and they have to follow your instruction all day long. This is quite frustrated, and I believe that sometimes their behavior come from that as well, cause they don't really have a choice, and they just I don't want to do that, and and they got really emotioned. Um, so what are we going to do? How are we going to give them choices at all? Um, what are the goods and what are the goods of giving them choices? Well, if you give them choices, you give them empowerments. They have power of what they're going to do. So if they have chosen the one way or the other, they have chosen it. They have chosen to do that thing. It will actually increase their participation. They will be more actively participating in the activities. In the long run, if they are actively participating, they will be performing better and better every day and every time they do it. And their attention will be better because they know it's going to do it. Instead of being distracted with what they wanted to do already, they know what it's going to do. What are they going to do next? So what are the choices that we can give to our children? The first type of choices is what choices. So what does the child want to do? What do you want, basically? It's happy. Well, you can have these choices happens all day long. Say, in breakfast time, do you want cereal or do you want bread with butter or bacon and egg? Or in tea time or in fruits time, do you want apple or orange? A smarter child might be able to communicate well with you, but with child with lower ability, especially those who can't really express themselves as much, well, we can use picture cards. Picture cards is basically a for what because I make all my picture cards myself for the child. I've actually training adults with ASD how to make those cards so they sell it to the child that I train. I think it's quite a good balance because it earns them money as well. So it's basically an A4 paper. You make probably say fruit cards, say apple. You just search it up from Google. Make it search it from Google. Copy and paste the pictures. Apple, grapes, orange, watermelon. Print it, cut it, laminate it. Then you get a photo card. And then you give the child choices. Do you want apple or do you want pineapple? Pine, yes. So they have choices. What are they going to choose? They might choose pineapple. They might choose an apple. And if you know that they like apple a lot and they hated pineapple, say if for someone who can't really express or who has minimal expression, well, you know that he is going to take apple anyway because he hated pineapple. Then you actually have someone to guide his hand, or you guide his hand yourself or her hand yourself to pick the apple card, put it down, and you give them an apple, and you pick the apple card, and that's it. So give it, have it done, so the child know what are they going to get. This is a what choices. It happens all day long. You can give them, do you want to go to trampoline or do you want to go to swimming? All kind of choices. And then sometimes you might say, well, my child have to do homeworks. I have to do home programs with the child as well. How am I going to do a home program, or how am I going to make him do homeworks? Because he don't have a choice. I can't give him a choice of not doing homework at all. Well, then we come to another choice, which is when choice. A when choice basically means they know when it's going to start and when it's going to end, and you give them choice. So how long do you want to do your homework? Or do you want to do when do you want to do your homework? Do you want to do it now, or do you want to do it after you jump on the trampoline? Okay, say if the child likes trampoline a lot and they choose to jump on the trampoline first, then give them a time limit. Say jump 10 times this clockwise and 10 times anti-clockwise, then we are going to do homeworks. Make them do something. Throw bean bags on a trampoline. Do all kinds of motions, but make it a countable way, a quantity countable, so they know when it's going to end and what are they, and they will move on to the next step. Some of parents might give their child an electronic, and it's actually quite hard for them for you to take away after you give them electronics. So there are actually some apps or on the computer you can set timer, and it's actually shut down itself after the time limit. Use those, and it actually warn the child. It's actually give them the child actually a time limit. They know it's going to end anyway, in 5 minutes, in 1 minute. Then it's blackout. Oh, then he knows he's going to go on the next step, which is doing homeworks. So it's actually based on what are you going to give them. So it's a when choices. You give them time, quantity. So you can actually, in how long are they going to do the task that you want them to do, say, and give them rest, say, and then do it afterwards. So there are all kinds of when choices that you can provide to your child. And you might say, Jenkins, my child didn't go to school. How am I able to give them choices? Because they have to go to school anyway. At that time, you can't limit the school time. You can't say, oh, you just go to school for 1 hour, but the school is actually 3 hours long. You can't actually limit it. So how am I going to do it? Well, we get the last choices is how. How are we going to go to school? Are we going to catch a bus? Or are we going to drive to school? Or are we going to walk to school? Based on what your child chooses, you can actually do it with them. So you actually give them empowerment on what they want to do and what they have to do. And I think it's actually quite good because child are more willing to participate in activities when you give them choices anyway. This is my share for today. I hope you well, and I'll leave my emails below. Don't hesitate to email me. I'll help you with all I can. I hope to talk to you guys soon. See ya.